Vlog-a-day 464. I got like 10 hours of sleep, so that was great. I am sorry, Cheryl, Andrea, Natasha, Fab, Paul, and whoever else was watching Lord of the Rings last night. I actually am really upset that I missed that because I've been craving a movie night for a long time, and I've been craving Lord of the Rings ever since I watched a whole bunch of videos on like why The Hobbit was terrible and just a bunch of like story structure things that had to do with Lord of the Rings. And it's really nerdy, I know, but I was really looking forward to watching that with you guys, and then yesterday I really felt like dying. I also said no to a going away party for my friend Chelsea. I'm sorry for that as well, but at some point I've got to start saying no to things because otherwise I will not get any sleep. But then it leaves me feeling like a terrible friend the day after. So I guess this is the friendship hangover today. And then I just found out that one of my good friends from a long time ago, well, not that long ago, Anya is in town and she's going to be here. I don't know how long, probably not very long. She doesn't like Paris, actually. She is French. She's like the love of my life that will never be the love of my life. So I'm sure that I'll get to see her tomorrow, hopefully, for coffee. But that's kind of blowing my mind too, because again, I'm trying to like pare back on all the friendship activities, but I can't say no to Anya. I just can't. I have to see her. If I have to say no to any of the rest of you, please just don't hate me for it. This is not what I signed up to talk about today, however. What I wanted to talk about was this. We haven't talked about the goal board in a little while, and there's something specific about this that I felt needed to be covered, and that is that this is not the all-encompassing dream board of my life and all the dreams that I have. Dreams, for me, on the right, this is why it's backwards, are what dictate what is on the left, right? If you don't know what you want from life, if you don't know what dreams you have, then you're not gonna go anywhere because you're not gonna know what your direction is, right? A ship without a heading is lost at sea. And so having an idea of what I really want, big things in life, that I don't know how I'll ever get there, but having an idea of what those are to start is what helps you to make decisions as you go, what you do say yes and no to. See, it all ties together. But it helps you to trim out unnecessary things or decisions that might lead you in directions you don't want. And really one of the great difficulties in life is not deciding between good and bad, but between good and great, right? Or good and perfect, or good and amazing, however it is you want to say it. And you're not going to know what is good for you and what is great for you unless you know exactly where you're headed. There are a lot of really good opportunities that come along in life, right? Lots of really cool things that you could do, but choosing between them to know exactly which one is actually the best for you is only possible if you know where you're going. And that's how you know if it's great for you. So for me, of course, I would love to get into acting more. I love acting. I think it's really fun. I would love to do stand-up comedy too at some point. I think I have the gene for it. I definitely am enough of a masochist to want to be a stand-up comic. I want to learn 10 languages. I want to get a master's, if not a PhD at some point. There are a lot of things I would love to do in life. A lot of studious things, a lot of tech startup type things, a lot of really cool projects that I could fill my plate with. And all those are good things. But if they don't get me any closer to the really big dreams that I have for myself, then I need to set them aside at least until the opportunity is permitting, right? Laser focus. Anyways, that was a little bit of that. We can talk more about it as we go. But speaking of which, writing is hugely important. And on the left, we have Agnar's box, selling Agnar's box, which is not gonna happen until I finish revising Agnar's box. So we're gonna go get some revisions done this afternoon because gosh darn it, I need to finish this stupid book. This afternoon, but until then I'm gonna try and write. I did blow a lot of this morning on sleeping and cleaning, but the sleeping part was really necessary, and the cleaning room is looking pretty nasty. Now on the goals side, I also realized that I need to reformat the goals on Patreon just because we've already kind of done a couple of things I said we would do later when we reached certain goals. I'm gonna try and do that because we are kind of screaming towards them, which is really exciting, but you make sure that's on top of that. Also, surprise, supposedly DHL will be delivering the postcards today, which is like 10 days earlier than what I actually paid for on the delivery dates. So that's insane. So hopefully we get those today, which means if you want to get a postcard from Patreon, you might have like 2 more days to jump on Patreon before it's too late. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Basically, I'm just going through and hacking stuff out. I think I deleted about 10,000 words from the book, which is good. There's probably another 5,000 to 10,000 words that I could just hack out when I get into it. And then the trick is going back and kind of just restructuring a few things. Because basically, I think I've talked about this before, but the problem with the book, there's two problems. One is that it doesn't really follow the strictest story structure for the type of book that it is. And the second is that in that, basically, the entire second act is too long and boring. Going in and trying to extract everything that I threw into the third act, the end of the book, drawing it out into the second act, making it scarier and more active earlier is really important because it's pretty much a horror novel, science fiction horror novel, but it wasn't really all that scary early on. Just lots and lots of setup, lots and lots of exposition. Just needed to cut some stuff out. I think I'm gonna cut a couple characters out too. There's at least one character that I can just get rid of, maybe two characters, try to make it a little bit more intimate on the ship, because it does take place on a ship. Not a spaceship, an ocean-going ship. Anyways, got that done. I gotta go have a phone call now, and then I'm gonna go see Mark, because I haven't seen Mark in a long time. Catch up with him for a minute before getting back to other, you know, computer-related working nonsense. Mail call! Oh, sunglasses. Now, there's something inherently stressful about receiving mail when your immigration status is uncertain in the country. I'm always waiting for something to show up. I don't even know why am I getting a bill from Energy? That doesn't make any sense. Although I do have a piece of mail from the UK, which I do know that's from Anna, at least I'm hoping it's from Anna. And then the rest of these things, well, this is, forget that. As far as this goes, I've got that, that's scary. This is going to be postcards. The scary things we will open after the postcards. You guys don't have to be a part of that. But it's one of those things where it's like every time I get mail, I'm actually fairly apprehensive as to what could it possibly be. Terrifying. This, on the other hand, exciting. Sealed by Moo. I'm not getting any kickbacks from this, don't worry. Although I could put like an affiliate link below, I'm sure. I've had all my postcards, business cards, all that stuff done by Moo over the years, probably for the last 5 years or something. They're amazing. I love Moo. Not always the cheapest option, but definitely a good option. All right, postcards. There's one right there. There's one of the darker ones. I like the canal shot. This is in Versailles. Also in Versailles. Also in Versailles. Obviously not in Versailles. Train station. Thinker with finger. Notre Dame. If you want to go to Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure this is on the train on the way to Champagne. I think that's what that one is. And then, yeah, the Gardens of Versailles. There you go. This is the selection of postcards that I will be sending to my patrons very soon. Maybe I'll start filling these out tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to take me like the rest of the week to fill this all out, which means I have 75 of these. I currently have 62 patrons, I believe, and one patron who's not active. Assuming that patron reactivates himself within this week, that means there are 63 patrons, meaning there are 12 of these left up for grabs. If you want one of these, jump into Patreon, make sure that your shipping address is up to date, and be within that first 75 by the end of the week. That's crazy. I did not expect these to be here this soon. And I will be sending these to you as a thank you for being one of my patrons, because Patreon has just been crazy lately, and I appreciate your support. That done, that's the fun part. Now I have to dig into these other letters and hope that nothing horrible happens. Well, according to the owner of You Decide, winter is officially here. That's what she said. The mail wasn't terrible. One of them is from my Social Security guys. It's the third time they've asked me for the exact same documentation, which will make it the third time I've sent them that documentation. I don't know what's going on there. Otherwise, there's a thank you note from Anna from coming and visiting her and going to her wedding, well, pseudo wedding, their like reception and ceremony in Wales not too long ago, which turned into a trip to Portugal as well, which is great. If you guys want to see, I'll link to that below or in the eye. Always check out that eye. If that eye pops up in the corner, it means it's linking to something good. Also, I can't really see because of this hood very well. Yeah, that's the follow-up there. Gonna go down, see a wise Irishman in a bar. Sounds like a good choice. We gotta be working on editorial calendar stuff. as well as just kind of figuring out what to do with my life. Tomorrow, I'm planning on going and meeting Way Away with Cheryl. Way Away has a travel channel here on YouTube, which I will also link to. Check that out. And yeah, I mean, I actually don't know a whole lot about them, but I happen to have some subscribers who are like super excited about the possibility of me meeting them. And so I reached out and they're up to meet, which is cool. So we'll meet them for coffee or something tomorrow at noon. I just stepped in something gooey. That's gross. And if nothing else, we'll get to see Cheryl, which will be fun. And then we will see, I think Anya and I are gonna meet up in the afternoon, now that you guys are fully up to date on my social calendar. But anyways, let's go see an Irishman in a pub. I know you.
Perfect timing. Is this about to be?
I haven't seen you in a long time. All right, a pint with the old Irishman, and now back to, I got like a bunch of stuff I got to draft actually for this project that I'm hoping to do, so back to work. The downside to sleeping really well last night and not having any tours or anything is I haven't burned any physical energy today, which has left me, I've kind of been a little up and down today, but I'm really feeling antsy. So I'm gonna go for a run, take some time lapses of, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower and Invalides. I think Les Invalides should do the trick, nighttime time lapses, and then that'll help me fall asleep later. I haven't been as productive as I wanted to be. I'm feeling fairly distracted. I don't work as well from home as I do from other places. Like I just don't work as well from here. Get a little bit annoyed. So I came prepared today. Huzzah! Let's go for a run. Well, I was gonna come out here and get some time lapses, but my battery went from about 25% to 2% for no good reason. So just in time for some sparkles, and I guess I'm gonna have to finish my run without taking any time lapses. Instead, I will leave you with the Eiffel Tower in all her glory. I made it all the way to Les Invalides on 1% battery life. Did it? I hope it survived. All right, thanks. Subscribe, hit, I'll show you, get a postcard. Go get a postcard.